Okay? Yeah? So Anvita, Zanal, can you guys say okay? Am I saying okay, sir? Your name is a little bit interesting for me. So, yeah. Alright. Isha, Kiara, will you okay? Now, a question for kids who were there in the last class. What did you do in the last class? What you were doing? That question is not right for Amrita and Janal.
We were doing geometry.
You were doing geometry. Geometry is an ocean by itself. What in geometry you were doing?
We were doing the parallelograms.
You were doing parallelograms? Or we were talking about,
Oh yeah, and the kite and the compass.
we were talking about the congruence of
Oh
triangles.
yeah.
So right now we are, so for the kids who have joined recently, for you guys to be aware, we are doing geometry right now and we started from scratch. So we talked about what are the basic shapes and its properties. So we talked about line segment, rays. We talked about angles, different types of angles. Then we went on to talk about triangles and the different types of triangles. So Anvita and Janal, if you guys are thinking that okay, we missed something, don't worry about it. We'll beat the drum so much so that it will become part of life. Okay? So let's not worry about it. And after looking at the properties of up to triangles, then we went to quadrilaterals. That is where we just talked about the properties of shapes like rectangle, square, rhombus, kite, parallelogram, and trapezoid. And we just talked about properties. So you guys have not missed anything. Whoever was not there in the last class versus who had not enrolled in the last class, you guys still fine. So we'll talk about finding out the formula for area of some of those interesting shapes. And then we will go on to talk about compound shapes and so on and so forth. Okay? So I will not try finding out the area of a rectangle. You guys want me to find it out? No, right? How do you find the area of a rectangle?
Radius, square.
Area of a rectangle.
Oh, rectangle. Oh.
Yes, Isha. Let's start this. And again, the protocol here is if somebody has to answer, you first raise your hand, then I'll call out your name, then only you'll answer. Don't unmute yourself and give the answer. Okay? Sorry, is that okay, sir? Yeah. Yes, Savi. Be on mute always. Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. So here, everybody, what I'm trying to say is, you guys don't want me to tell me the formula for area of a rectangle. Everybody knows it, length and width. If I ask you, how do you find out the area of a triangle? What is the formula for that? Let me go to Anvita. I have interesting ones for you guys also. Don't worry about it. Yes, Anvita, tell me. Base times height divided by 2. Sami, that's your answer too. How about you? Base times height divided by 2. Now, I want you guys to look at it from a different perspective. And this is what will help us find out the formula for other shapes. What is a rectangle? Rectangle is?
Like basically half of the triangle.
Exactly.
I mean,
Half the area of a rectangle.
yeah.
That's how we are just mentally aligning ourselves to get the concept right. If I am talking about a rectangle, this is my length and this is my width. Property of rectangle says it's a quadrilateral with the opposite sides being equal and parallel to each other. Every angle is 90 degrees. So this side and this side has same length and they are parallel. Yeah. Similarly, this side and this side has the same length and they are parallel. So, area of a rectangle is length times width. Okay. Now, Alisha got something. So, area of a rectangle is length times width. If I have to find out area of a triangle, what is triangle actually? If I join the two corners of a rectangle, that makes a triangle. Or this line, which I will happily call a diagonal for this rectangle, is actually splitting this into two equal halves. In the last class, what did we talk about? We talked about congruence. Correct? What is congruence? Anybody? What do you mean by congruence? Yep.
The
Exact same. Yes, Adya. Exact same thing. Yeah. So basically, when you say congruence, we are talking about two shapes which are exact copy of each other. It's a copy. Okay? So you guys would have come across twins, right? Identical twins. Right? Where you have two brothers and two sisters being a look-alike. Those are potentially the example of congruence. We'll say, okay, they have exact matching properties. Here, we'll not talk about identical twins or triplets. We'll talk about the shapes. If I'm saying this is a rectangle where this side and this side are same, this side and this side are same, and they are parallel also. Now, what I'm saying is, look at this. Why I'm even daring to say that area of the triangle is half of the area of the rectangle, because this diagonal is splitting into two exact halves. Meaning this triangle and this triangle are exact same copy of each other. These two are congruent. And why I'm saying so? Why do you think that these two are congruent? Yeah?
Because when you do the what do you call this? The area of a rectangle.
This is the method of madness.
I meant the side.
Okay, now I'm adding fuel to the fire. Okay, you are going the right direction. I'm just adding more color to it. Everybody here, Jivika, are you with me? Jivika, Kian, Zinal, Anvita, everybody okay? Sandhi. So there are four methods or four theorems of congruence for triangles. If you want to say two triangles are exact copy of each other, you have four theorems. I'm not going to talk about all of them right now. Let's talk about only one. What this theorem says, that if you have two triangles with sides matching, this side matching with this side matching with this side, and this side matching with this side, all the three sides, S stands for side. If you have two triangles with three matching sides, they are congruent. Now look at this one. This diagonal is splitting this. Let's say this is A, B, C and D. This is my rectangle A, B, C, D. Okay? When I join B and D, these two corners, that is splitting this into two exact half or breaking this into two congruent triangles. Why I am saying so? Because I see that I have two triangles. Let me add some color to it. I have a yellow triangle here and I have a green triangle here. I am saying that the yellow and the green triangles are congruent. Okay? I am saying these two are congruent because of this theorem, SSS. Meaning, in both the triangles, for every side there is a matching side in the other triangle. Look at this one. Look at the yellow triangle. This side and this side are matching. Yellow triangles this side and green triangles this side matching. Yellow triangles this side and green triangles this side matching. And this guy is anyways common between both the triangles. So this is a perfect example of theorem SSS. All the three sides between the two triangles matching. So we cannot deny that these two are congruent. Or in other words, this line is, or this diagonal is splitting this rectangle into two exact halves. Is it agreeable or not. I would let you guys digest and process this information before I move on. Yeah. Please go ahead. Now, Anvita, Zalal, Kian, Adya, Sanvi, Isha, Soryas, Jivika, Amol, and Harnoor. I'm asking, whatever I said so far, is this agreeable or not? Don't say, okay, now this old man is saying so, we don't have a choice, let's say okay. Not that way. Take math as math and tell me whether this is making sense or not making sense. Making sense? Isha? Jivika, okay? Okay? Where is Aditri? I don't see Aditri. Is she coming? She is here? Oh, okay. Okay. I was not looking at every name on the screen, that's why I was. Soryas, is it making sense? How about Mishika? So I will repeat my story from the beginning. Why even I am spending this much time here? Because we know area of a rectangle is length times width. And is that okay now? Area of a rectangle is length times width. That we know. And I am not denying that. Area of a triangle is half into base into height. And we are trying to agree to that. We are trying to make sure that okay, we are very clear about it. How? So we said, okay, you know what? A triangle is formed, a most basic form of a triangle is formed by joining the diagonals of a rectangle. And that diagonal splits this into two equal halves. Two triangles which are copy of each other. Yeah. I'm sorry? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Nobody is taught. I have gone over this 200 times. That doesn't mean that I will not teach you guys, right? So I'm just see again. The idea here is this: if you know something, it's a revision. If you don't know it, you will come across it. Okay? And I'm using this as a base. I'll come to this one. Okay? Don't worry. So this diagonal split into two equal halves, and we looked at why these are equal by using this theorem of congruence. We can agree that okay, this yellow triangle and green triangle are copy of each other because every triangle's one side is matching with the other triangle's side. So these two are congruent. If two things are congruent, meaning this plus this is equal to this whole area. This and this are equal, so this is half of the whole thing. That's how area of triangle is half into base into height. In the case of a triangle, in case of rectangle, we call this length. In case of triangle, we call this base, and this is a width and say height. That's all. That's the only difference. Now, this was the easy part of it. So rectangle and triangle we know. What is the area of a circle? Radius square by half.
No, radius times pi times radius squared by half.
By half.
No,
Okay.
pi times radius 1/2 of radius.
Pi times 1/2 radius. Okay. Yep.
2 pi radius.
2 pi radius. I'm talking about area of a circle. I'm sorry. Okay. Adya, how much is area of a circle? Okay. Om, how much is area of a circle? Zanel, Amrita, do you guys agree with what your friends are saying? Area of a circle? Pi r square? Okay. Kian? Pi r square? You're talking to me, but
Did I say the volume of it?
no. Pi r square. Yeah. Adya. Yeah.
That's what I
What you said was perimeter. So any shape Yes, are there? 2 pi r is perimeter. So here's the difference. If I'm talking about a circle, this is my circle. If I'm any shape, if I'm talking about perimeter, I'm talking about the boundary, length of the boundary, and I will use acronym P as a perimeter. Perimeter of a circle is 2 times pi times r. Okay, and area of a circle is pi r square. Yeah.
Basically, just reverse it.
You are just moving the two.
Yeah, reverse it.
Yes, are there? So here's the thing. How do you get area? Any shape, you have to multiply 2 sides. So when you look at the area, I'm just giving you a dirty technique for memorizing the formula. Okay? Whenever you are finding area, let's look at the area of a rectangle, length times width. You are multiplying 2 sides. So here you don't have 2 sides, you have only radius. So you are multiplying radius by itself. It becomes pi r square. Now this was a jump start. So far we have not gotten into what we wanted to do. Now we are starting with how to find out the area of a rhombus, and then a kite, then a trapezoid. There are 3 shapes for which we find out the formula for area. Because for the new kids who are dealing with me for the first time or have been dealing with me for much lesser time like above, I don't give the formula and say to memorize the formula. I'll always tend to prove the formula, okay? So that it remains in a concept with you guys. Now, let's start with rhombus. If somebody is trying to recall what is rhombus, rhombus is nothing but one of the quadrilaterals, or it is a quadrilateral which is formed by squeezing a square. You had a square, you squeeze it from 2 corners, that made it look like this. All the 4 sides are still of same length, but in case of a square, your angles were all 90 degrees, which is not the case. You just squeezed it, it became thinner and taller. That's it. So I was just helping you guys recall the property of a rhombus. I'm not done yet. I'm saying, okay, you squeezed a square and got a rhombus. Wonderful. Now you know the 4 sides are of same length. How do you find out the area of a rhombus? Yes, Adya. Say one more time. What is P and what is Q? So that's why I'm here. I'll make sure that today I get you guys bored enough so that this doesn't go off your radar ever. Okay, anybody? I have a rhombus. Everybody knows the property of a rhombus. Rhombus is nothing but a squeezed version of a square. You took 2 corners of a square, squeezed it so that it became thinner and taller. You have all 4 sides are same length. I'm asking you guys, tell me how do you find out the area of a rhombus? What is the formula for area of a rhombus? First I will ask you the formula, then I will prove the formula. Yes, Isha. Okay. Anybody? One last attempt. It's like an auction. Option 1 gone, option 2 gone, option 3. Anybody who remembers? Adya, Ditri, Kian, Jivika, Sami, Anvita. Yes, Sami, go ahead. Okay, so we are talking about area of a rhombus, and area of a rhombus is d1 into d2 by 2. Adya was going the right direction. She just lost track of it and she was not able to justify what is P and Q. And here, P and Q are the two diagonals of a rhombus. So if you have to find out the area of a rhombus, you will look at these two dimensions. This is called diagonal. This is one diagonal, and this is the second diagonal, and your area would be equal to diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. And so this is the formula for area of a rhombus. But is your teacher correct? Is he bluffing right now? Yes, Aditri, go ahead now. Aditri, you are saying something. So right now the teacher is bluffing. He's just saying that okay, area of a rhombus is d1 to d2 by 2. I can say d1 to d2 by 2 also, and without telling what exactly it is. Now it's my turn to prove it, so that you will get convinced and you never forget. Anvita, Zanel, Jivika, Om, are you guys with me so far? Sanvi, Isha, everybody okay? Arnold, stressed out? Are okay? Little bit? Okay, don't get stressed out. So let's start from beginning. Now, we know that rhombus is something that you can form by squeezing a square from two corners. Okay? Abo, am I making you feel sleepy?
Yeah.
I'm making you feel sleepy?
The thing is.
Okay, so pay attention. That's the catch. Okay? Now, if you have a square, you squeeze from two corners, that will form a rhombus. Now, let's look at some of the properties of rhombus. If you know rhombus well, then you need to know that it has one very unique property. Apart from the four sides being of same length, it has another unique property, which is these two diagonals of a rhombus are perpendicular bisector. What do you mean by that? Amok, you have to wake up. You have to wake up. You have to be attentive. Otherwise, yeah. Just, I'm saying the two diagonals of a rhombus are perpendicular bisectors. What does it mean?
Lines that cross each other at a rigorous square.
They are, how do you explain this? They are like in similar length that are like across from each other like this.
Perpendicular and bisector.
I know what bisector means, but
They bisect each other.
oh, they connect.
They split each other into two halves,
Yeah.
equal halves.
That's what I meant.
So this is diagonal one. Let's say this is A, B, C and D. AC is one diagonal, BD is another diagonal. What is happening here? These are perpendicular bisector, meaning when they meet, they make 90-degree angle. And this guy breaks this guy into two halves. The AC is splitting this into two halves. Likewise, this BD is also taking revenge and splitting this into two halves. That's what it means. Perpendicular bisector. So, this is one unique property of a rhombus. If you know rhombus, there are three things that you need to know. One is, it is a squeezed version of a square. That means all the four sides are of same length. Second thing is, when you join the opposite corners of a rhombus, they are called diagonals and they are perpendicular bisector of each other. Okay? Meaning, if these diagonals meet at point O, this length BO and OD is same. AO and OC also same. Does it make sense? Now, what is happening here? You guys will see that again these four triangles are of same length. These four triangles are congruent. Meaning, I took a rhombus, I joined the opposite corners, we split this into four triangles, four right angle triangles. I am saying they are congruent. Why? This will not help. Think. That's why I'm asking you guys to wake up. You will think only when you wake up.
Because
I'm saying these two triangles are congruent. And I have given you guys that clue. Under what circumstances something will be congruent? Yes.
so they're all equal sides and they're equally cut up, so they should be congruent. And you can see the sides.
Right. So that's what I was wanting to hear. I said they are congruent. Why? And you were saying this. I said, no, this will not help. You tell me how. So what I'm saying is, let me do one thing. Let me color code them. This is a red triangle. This is yellow triangle. This is blue triangle. And this one is green triangle. What I'm saying is, all these four triangles are congruent. Meaning, red and yellow are congruent, yellow and green are congruent, green and blue are congruent, red and blue are also congruent. Why I'm saying so? Can somebody tell me? Okay, so Amol was telling that if I'm looking at red and yellow, these are congruent because look at this one. These two sides are anyways common between the two triangles. This side's length and this side's length are same because it's coming from a squash property, right? When you squeeze it, your sides are same length. Now this one and this one are same. Look at the triangle ABO and triangle ADO. You have AO present in both the triangles. They are same. BO equal to OD. BO equal to OD because it's got split into two halves by this diagonal. So these two are same. And then AB, this length and this side and this side are also same, equal to AD. Because rhombus has all four sides of same length. So what you are seeing is S, S, S. Using that you can say these two triangles are congruent. Yeah? Agreeable? Anvita, Isha, Sanvi, Om, Adya, Jivika, Sauryash, Arnur. I'm just asking, is it agreeable or not? So, look at the story from beginning. This is a rhombus, all four sides are same length, and we know from the property that the diagonals are perpendicular bisector, meaning this diagonal splitting this diagonal into two halves, and this diagonal splitting this diagonal also into two halves. Basically, by joining the two diagonals, we get four triangles, and we are trying to say that this triangle and this triangle are congruent. That's what we saw by comparing this. Okay, that these two sides are same length, this side is common, and these two are same. So both the triangles are matching sides, so they are congruent. Does it make sense to everybody? You seem to be putting effort to get convinced, but I'm just asking, is it making sense? Now, it's on the screen. Oh, are you convinced? Sanvi, Anvita, Janal. Okay. Now, I'm saying that this yellow and green also will be congruent, same way. Because these two sides are same. This one is anyways common, this side is common between the two triangles. And this side and this side are same anyway, because both are half of this diagonal. Yeah. So this is congruent with this guy is congruent with this guy. Similarly, these two are also congruent. So what we are saying is, when I join the two diagonals of a rhombus, that splits that into four congruent triangles. So if I have to find out the area of rhombus, this will be equal to 4 times area of any of the triangle. Yes or no? We are saying, okay, this is rhombus, join the diagonals, and that split that into 4 congruent triangles. Meaning, if I have to find out this whole area, I will say, find out the area of one of the triangle, multiply that by 4. Will that be okay? Give yourself enough time to get convinced. Okay, I'm not in a hurry, I'm not going anywhere, I'm not retiring tomorrow. Jivika. Okay. Can I have everybody's attention for this 2-3 minutes? Undivided attention, okay? And you can use that attention for giving me tension, that's okay. You can ask me to explain 5 times, I'm ready to do that. But look at this. This is my rhombus, okay? What is a rhombus? Rhombus has all 4 sides of same length. Okay? Second thing is, we learn from the property that when you join the opposite corners of the rhombus, they are perpendicular bisector, meaning this diagonal splits this diagonal to 2 halves, equal halves. This diagonal splits this diagonal to 2 equal halves, and they meet at 90 degrees. That's what perpendicular and bisector means. Okay? So, when we have a rhombus, we join the 2 diagonals. We know this side, this length and this length equal, this length and this length equal. And after looking at the congruence theorems, we saw that this triangle, this triangle, this triangle, this triangle, these 4 triangles are congruent with each other. Or in other words, this rhombus is made of 4 congruent triangles that we saw just now. Does it make sense here? Amok? Arnold? So this rhombus is made of 4 congruent triangles, meaning this triangle and this triangle, this triangle, this triangle. These 4 triangles are exact copy of each other. So if I have to find out the area of this rhombus, I will find out the area of one of the triangle, multiply that by 4. Will that be okay? Yeah? If you have to find out my whole body's length, you will say I will find out the length of your head, including the neck, then from neck till your knees, and from knees to your feet. Likewise, if I have to find out the area of this whole guy, I am saying okay, 4 times this, because all 4 are equal. That's all. Yeah? Yeah? Everybody okay or not? Sordius, is it making sense to you? Jivika? Zanal, am I making sense to you, Beta, so far? Where did Zanal go? I don't see her. You're there? Okay, yes, she's there. But yeah, again, I'm calling out names of the kids who have joined today because they have not heard me enough. I'm just trying to make sure that they are able to follow my pace or they are able to understand what I'm trying to say. So, to find out the area of this rhombus, I will find out the area of one of the triangle and multiply that by 4. That will be my area of the rhombus. Now look at this. 4 times area of the triangle. Let's look at this triangle. What will be the area? Half into base. O to D. OD times height. O to A. This height. This is my height. O to A. Now, what is O to D? O to D is half of this diagonal. Likewise, what is O to A? This is half of this diagonal. So, it is 4 into half into OD, which is this one. Let's say this diagonal is diagonal 2 and this is diagonal 1. OD is diagonal 2 divided by 2. And what is OA? OA is diagonal 1 divided by 2. Diagonal 1 divided by 2. So what do we have now? This is equal to 4 into D1 into D2. 4 into 1 into D2 into D1 divided by 2 into 2 into 2. 2 into 2 into 2. These 2 into 2 will become 4. Will knock out this guy. What do I have now? D1 into D2 by 2. Tiring, boring, frustrating. Okay. And that's okay. So I will have to split the story. You have in water? You have one? I know it gets a little bit exhausting after a full blown day of school. I understand that. And I'm with you guys, okay? I'm totally with you guys. That's why there will be no compromise from my side when it comes to putting the effort over and over again to explain this. So now let's go from the beginning. This is a rhombus, all four sides same, join the two corners, those are called diagonals and they are perpendicular bisector, meaning this length and this length same, this length same. And we can relate that with the congruence concepts, and we see that okay, these four triangles are congruent with each other. This is congruent with this guy is congruent with this guy is congruent with this guy, all are congruent. So if I have to find out the area of this rhombus, I am okay to find out the area of one triangle and multiply that by 4. That's what I did here. And from that, we saw that 4 times area of one triangle. Area of triangle is half into base into height. Now you guys can relate to it. Why I was stressing so much on finding out the area of a triangle. 4 times half times base times height. 4 times half times base. Base is half of this diagonal, height is half of this diagonal. That's what you are seeing here. And your formula for area for rhombus became diagonal 1 into diagonal 2 by 2. This is the formula that I was talking about. So going back to Adya, you remember Adya when I asked you what the area for rhombus, and you were the only one who was closest to giving that answer. You said P1 into Q1, P into Q by 2. Your P and Q are nothing but the two diagonals actually. Yeah? Diagonals, yeah? So now, whatever you knew versus whatever I bothered you with, these two will come together and make you guys more confident next time when you come across this one. Okay? Alright, Isha, Sandhi, Anvita, Jivika, Arnoor, Amok, are you guys clear? Sure. So you are not only learning what is the formula, you are learning the how part of it. That is why I am here. If you come to me just to know what are the formulas, you don't actually need me. You don't need a teacher. In the AI world, you put that question, what is the formula for area for rhombus? AI will give you a much more decorated answer for this one. So you don't need me to get a formula that you can find on any given day. How that formula came into existence is what I am putting the effort for. That is what makes me be little relevant to you guys. Okay? So I will not do things which makes me redundant and irrelevant. I might get a little boring at times. That's the behavior of a teacher. What to do? Now, I'm not done yet bothering you guys. I have one more thing to bother you. You guys are okay. When I see you guys, right, I relate you all with my own kids. My elder one is in college now. I remember what kind of transformational phases of life she has gone through to get to college. I myself have gone through that, but when I was a child, I probably did not bother to know about myself. But when I see my kids growing, I can at least relate to it. So I understand you guys going through so much of stress during the school time and then dealing with me in the evening. But this is my office desk. I came back from work after driving from Irving back home. It's 45 miles drive. It takes me 1.5 hours to come back from there. But again, why we are here is because we are wanting to learn something. So I was saying that we are not done yet. So anybody who is feeling sleepy, I will make sure that the sleep is taken away. Now I am done with rhombus. I am going to the next shape. Kite. Yep. So you have to work. Everybody make sure that you get into the habit of watching the video of the class. I do every day. And leave a comment. Once you watch the video, leave a comment that this is about I watched the video and today we learned this. Because I am counting that, okay, to see who all are. You have to go from that area because otherwise. Okay. Alright. So I am saying I have a kite and I want to find out the area of a kite. What do I do? How? You guys can come to the first row. You just
The fan is here.
here. Oh, have fun there. Okay. I mean, this is for you guys only, as long as it's making you comfortable. Okay, so my question to you all is, this is a kite. I want to find out the area of a kite. What is the formula for area of a kite?
Is it the same as a rhombus?
No, because it can't be. It's the same as a rhombus.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so did you guys hear it? Two of your friends are saying that area of a kite is same as area of a rhombus. What it means? If I have a kite, area will be same as diagonal 1 times diagonal 2 divided by 2. And that was an intelligent guess. This shape looks somewhat similar to this one, okay? Similar to rhombus. So there's something similar, okay? And I'm not a big fan of memorizing formulas. I'm just drawing some correlation so that we can reuse it. Okay? So area of a kite is also same as area of a rhombus. Diagonal 1 to diagonal 2 by 2. So this is a big sigh of relief. Two shapes, two similar shapes, similar looking shape, same formula. But why? Life would be fun, right? If I say area of a rectangle also diagonal 1 to diagonal 2 by 2. Everything is same formula. That's what we don't want to memorize a lot of things, correct? Jivika, you are very quiet today. I want to make sure that everybody, all the kids are having a, yep, everybody is, okay. Am I making sense to everybody? Shaurya's, Adya, Ditri, Anvita, Zanal. I know Zanal might not be very happy with me. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right. But am I making sense better so far? Okay. Now we are saying that area of a kite is also same as area of a rhombus, or it uses the same formula at least. Now let's come decode the properties of a kite. What are the properties of a kite that you guys are aware of? Can somebody help me recall those quickly? Yeah.
The property, like something.
Property as in what you know about this one.
The perpendicular bisector, it's not one of them.
No, so perpendicular bisector would not fit in here. Okay? What else do you know? And go as far as you can. Anybody? What is the property of a kite that you guys know? Isha, Kian, somebody. Yes, Om. This is the property, one of the property, okay? That kites, top two sides and the bottom two sides are of same length. Okay? Yeah. Other property. So Hernode is having a good ride today. She gave me the answer for area of a kite, and that was the right answer. Second answer that you gave me was they are perpendicular bisector. I will just skip the word bisector. That's it.
No, I said they're not.
They are not perpendicular bisector. Then you are having a very good day then. Your answers are spot on. So what Hernode was saying was the diagonals are not perpendicular bisected. So they are not bisected, but they are still perpendicular. Okay, this is another property that you might want to know. Meaning this angle and this angle are 90 degree. This angle and this angle are 90 degree as well. Now, if I have to find out the area of this rhombus, area of this kite, what I'm saying is, let's say this is A, B, C and D. What I'm saying is, one of the diagonal is AC and second diagonal is BD. Yeah? These are two diagonals. These two corners is forming one diagonal, this is another diagonal. Another thing we know is they are making 90 degrees here. Let's say they are meeting at a point O. If I have to find out the area of this whole kite, what I will do is, I can look at finding out the area of the yellow triangle and area of green triangle. I will find out the area of the yellow triangle and the green triangle and add them together. Let's see if that works. I mean, conceptually it's fine, right? I mean, we are just seeing the visual of it, right? The whole area is this area plus this area. That's it. Are you guys with me so far? Now, I'm daring to say something. I'm saying that if I look at the two triangles A, B, C, A, B, C, the green one, and the second triangle which is A, C, D, the yellow one, I'm saying these two triangles are congruent. Can you guys believe it? They are congruent, I'm saying.
Is that ACD?
A, C, D, yeah, the yellow one. Let me write it in a clean way. A, C, D. I'm saying A, C, D and A, B, C. A, B, C, the green and yellow triangles are congruent. Can you guys believe it? Why?
Because if you split them in half, they're going to be the same.
I will try going for a more mathematical answer here. Congruence needs a theorem mapping. Okay? Yes, Om. I'll come to you later. Yes, Om. Why? Yeah. Okay, I'm still looking for a more mathematical answer. If I ever say two triangles are congruent, they have to map to one of the theorem of congruence. Here look at this one, yellow triangle, this side and green triangles this side are same, matching. Top two sides of a kite. The bottom two sides, this one and this one are also same. So between these two triangles, this side match, this side match. And this side is anyways present in both the triangles. So this is a perfect example of S. This side matching S. This side matching second S. This side being common third S. S theorem met. So these two are congruent mathematically. I will not say that I am dividing it symmetric. I mean, I know it's symmetric, but then math needs proof. And you guys need proof as well. I cannot rush through it and make you convinced without any evidence of the correctness. Yeah? Where is Anita and Zanal? Are you guys with me, beta? Am I making sense so far? I was able to see Zanal and Anita. They are behind the scene now. I don't see them. Are you guys with me so far? Yeah, okay. So basically what happens is, when you're talking in between, your screen is on the first page. If you go on mute, I'm sorry, Vita? Yeah, exactly. So now, so what is happening is, we saw that this green triangle and yellow triangle are congruent because we saw that both have three pairs of matching sides. This side same, this side same, and this one is common. So these two are congruent. Now, if I have to find out, let's even forget about the congruence part of it. Let's find out the area of this rhombus. Area of the rhombus will be area of the green triangle, area of the rhombus. I'm just writing area. Will be equal to area of the green triangle plus area of the yellow triangle. Let me make the triangles look green and yellow. So this is the green triangle and this is the area, this is the yellow triangle. Let's find out the area of the two triangles, okay? Area of the green triangle, this one will be how much? Let's consider this is the base. So half into base. Base is this one, let's say A to C. And the height times half into base times this height, which is B to O. What is the area of the yellow triangle? Again, half into base. I will take this as a base and this is a height. Half into base. Again, base is A to C into height. This time the height will be O to D. So my total area here, half into AC times BO, and this is half into AC times OD. So half and AC, this is common in both the places. This guy has BO and this guy has OD. See what happened here. Half into AC, this one, times BO plus OD. BO plus OD becomes this length. It's BD. What is AC? AC is one diagonal, BD is second diagonal. Half into diagonal 1 into diagonal 2. Isn't it true now? Yep.
Why is it, you know, on like the first one it's like 1/2. Why is there like a Y after?
Where is the Y now?
Like after?
This one?
No, like before the AC. In the starting.
So this is yellow, this is a green triangle. Okay, this one. Half into base, this is AC, into height, this is BO. This part is clear? Now I'm going to yellow triangle. Half into AC, base, into OD. Half into AC, the base, and OD.
No, I mean like, you know how it's like after the D area it's like 1/2, like before the AC that you underline.
Oh, this is not Y, beta. This is X. This is Y. Awesome handwriting. Okay. So if I look at the story one more time from beginning, this is a kite. Only thing we know about the kite is the top two sides are of same length, bottom two sides are of same length, and the diagonals meet at 90 degrees. That's it. No perpendicular bisecting business. Okay. Now, so if I have to find out the area of the kite, I have to find out the area of this triangle and the area of this triangle. Whatever I was trying to prove with congruence, you can ignore that part. I have this triangle and this triangle's area. If I add them together, that will be my area of the kite. So, what is my area of the green triangle? Half into base times height. What is the area of this triangle? Half into base, which is AC again, times height. So, half into AC into this height, half into AC into this height. And these two heights are, these are two heights for the two triangles. Half into AC is common in both of them. So I took it out, BO plus OD. BO plus OD became BD, which is second diagonal. So from that we found that area of this rhombus is, by adding these two, became half into D1 to D2. Is that sounding convincing or confusing? Confusing? Convincing?
Convincing.
Okay, that was encouraging for me. So if I teach something that sounds convincing, that becomes encouraging and motivating for me as well. Did that make sense to everybody? So a summary of what we have done today is we looked at the basic properties of rhombus and kite, and then use that property and the concepts of congruence to derive the formula for area of a rhombus and kite. And the interesting finding is both have the same formula for area, that is D1 into D2 by 2. And you guys will think that, okay, nobody in the world is going to ask us to prove the formula for these two area of these two shapes. But math is not about just knowing the formula. This formula you can find on AI, ChatGPT, Claude, Google Gemini, whatever. You don't have, but they will probably not explain this part to you. They'll probably not break it down for us. I mean, some of them still do it. But what I'm saying is, it's just not about knowing the formula, it's about knowing the root of the formula, the concept behind the formula, so that these formulas will stick with you guys forever. And when you have to apply this in any problem, while solving any problem, you will not have any struggle to find it out. Alright? So next class we will talk about how to find out area of a trapezoid, and then we will start looking at some of the compound shapes. and then we'll start dealing with some real challenging word problems relating to these concepts. And after a couple of classes, then we'll go on to the 3D objects. That is where we talk about surface area and volume. So I will not let you guys relax. I'll keep on adding more interesting facts to it, but that should enrich our knowledge and ability to solve things by ourselves rather than relying on any expert. Alright, with that being said, I'll let you guys go. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have fun.
Once I asked.
Bye.